Man of God, I got a real question for you. Have you ever been in a season of marriage where you thought this? We're not fighting, but we're not okay either. The conversations are either shorter, the tension is thicker, and the distance feels louder than words. Well, let me say this up front. Storms don't mean that your marriage is failing. They reveal whether it's built to last. And today, I'm going to show you how to overcome storms in your marriage without losing your wife, your family, or your identity as a man of God. Stay with me because one of these points may explain exactly why your season feels so heavy. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Pastor Lee Mooring. I'm a Christian men's coach and a military veteran, and I've spent years walking with men through marriage storms, through leadership pressure, and seasons where quitting felt easier than standing. This channel is for men like you who want to lead better, who want to love stronger, and want to live with purpose. And here's the truth about married men that we aren't told. Storms are not interruptions to marriage. They're part of the assignment. Jesus said in Matthew 7, the rain fell and the floods came and the winds blew and beat against the house. Notice, he didn't say if the storm comes. He said when it comes, because the storm is going to come in your marriage, in your life, for different situations, your children, your marriage, your job. Storms are going to come. The question isn't, why are we in a storm? The question is, am I built for this? And as a man of God, as you grow in your relationship with Christ, you become stronger and stronger. The first thing we have to do is this: stop panicking. Storms coming. This is not failure. Most men, they panic when storms hit, and we think, I'm failing as a husband. I'm pulling away. This might be the end, but hear me clearly when I say this. Pressure doesn't mean failure. It reveals structure. The disciples were in a storm. Waves were crashing in, and Jesus was asleep. Why? Because peace isn't the absence of storms. Peace is knowing who's in the boat with you. In that case, Jesus was right there in the boat with these people. Some of you don't need a new marriage strategy. You need to stop letting fear drive the boat. Here's the thing, men. Storms expose foundations. Here's a hard but loving truth. Storms, they don't create the cracks in our relationship. They expose them. They expose communication gaps. They expose unspoken resentment. They expose emotional disconnection. They expose spiritual inconsistencies. Proverbs 22:3 says this: the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Let me say it again. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple, they keep going and they pay the penalty. A wise man doesn't ignore storms. He adjusts his footing. I want you to ask yourself this: have I been leading, or have I just been reacting? Have I been present in my marriage, in my relationship, with my children, or have I just been providing? Have I been praying or just pushing through? Storms are invitations to build. They're not invitations for us to bail. Quick pause. If this is already speaking to you, do me a favor, subscribe to this channel right now, not for the algorithms, but because every week we talk about real marriage, real faith, and real leadership for Christian men who refuse to quit. All right, back to it. Man of God, your wife doesn't need a fixer. Let me say that very clearly. Your wife doesn't need a fixer. She needs a fortress. Most men try to fix the storm, but God calls husbands to be the shelter. Your wife doesn't need a sermon. Let me say it again. Too many of us are trying to preach to our wife during this storm. Your wife does not need a sermon. Your wife does not need a solution checklist. Your wife does not need a defensive explanation. Here's what she needs. She needs stability. She needs emotional safety. She needs consistency. She needs leadership. And leadership isn't loud, it's steady. Ephesians 5 doesn't say husbands win arguments. Let me say it again. Ephesians 5 does not say husbands lead or husbands win argument. It says this: husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. And Christ didn't abandon the church in the storm. He sacrificed himself for it. Brother, don't steer in a storm. That's the time where you need to drop anchors. Here's where many men mess up. And listen to me on this. Storms are going to hit, and suddenly we start steering. Maybe we rushed into marriage. Maybe this isn't God anymore. Maybe I'm done. That's steering in high winds. Instead, drop your anchors. Anchors look like prayer being your reaction. Dropping your anchors means listening before defending. Dropping anchors means counsel before isolation. It means patience before decisions. Most marriages don't explode. They drift. They drift because the anchors weren't dropped. God uses storms to forge us men. God uses storms to forge us men. God does not waste storms in our lives. Joseph was forged. David was refined. Peter was restored. And you are being shaped right now. This storm isn't here to destroy your marriage. It's here to develop your leadership. The man you become in this season will determine the marriage you experience in the next one. Let me say that again. The man that you become in this season right now, during this storm, will determine the marriage you experience in the next one. Strong marriages aren't storm-free. They're storm-trained. They're storm-trained by the relationship with God and being grounded in the Word. Man of God, listen to me. Don't wait for the storm to pass on its own. If you're serious about leading your marriage through this season, I created something specifically for you. Check the link below for the free, yes, I said totally free, 7-day marriage challenge. In 7 days, you'll reset communication, you'll rebuild connection, you'll strengthen your leadership and start anchoring your marriage God's way. No fluff, no shame, just daily biblical action. Biblical action steps for husbands who want to stand. Click the link below. Comment in the process. Storms don't sink anchored men. Stand firm, my brother. Lead well, man of God. Love sacrificially. I'll see you in the challenge and in the next video. Take care and God bless.